Okay, we're joined in the workshop today for another problem. I have a laser cutter over here. This machine used to drive the laser cutter. I had channel fan and supporter dead meat down at one point when we were doing some networking. He helped me get this one up and running, and don't mind the fluoro tubes here, they're a bit of a problem. We got the SSD working on that. I had a whole bunch of trouble cloning the SSD off. Went to use that the other day and it was just stone dead. We conclude probably power supply. This is an old Dell T3500 with a Xeon X5650 in it. Now there is another one of those at a museum I work for that's the archiving machine, so we may just raid the bits out of that and update the other one. Recently, another channel supporter, Alan, who goes by the name of Fat Ninja, donated another machine to me that had an Intel Core i5 in it, which might work, and I have an i7 that might fit in that board, but crucially it uses the 10600 unbuffered RAM. So we might rob some of the best RAM out of this, make one computer out of three. So I'm going to go scrap all those bits together and sit at my desk and try and put a machine together. Alright, we're open, empty slot, 4 RAM slots. Got a bunch of stuff going in here. We've got to clean power supply out. There's a bit of dust and everything. Heatsink definitely needs a clean. We'll start putting some hardware in first and we'll go from there. It's surprisingly kind of clear. Now, which have we got? We've got, that's the i5. We've got the i7. Now, it should be pretty hard to put these in backwards with the 2 little notches on there. Provided we don't drop it on top of the pins, we should be alright.
That is not too bad.
That's
storing at 160 megabytes a second.
Okay. I just realised when I went to decommission this, I unplugged all the connectors in here. They're all proprietary, but I think they're colour coded. Yes, I've got the heatsink and the power supply already removed. I guess I'll take them out to the shed and give them a dust out. I wonder if I'll be able to fit this Quadro card in here. I'll probably have to take that bracket off. It's not a low profile one, but I don't think that's going to matter because I probably won't have the side on it. But there is, if I'm desperate, this little Quadro, which has got a display port on it, and it is low profile. It might do the job. Alright, so in amongst my pile of spare parts, I found an i7 2600 to replace the i5 that was in there. Looking at the compatibility list, that is quite likely the fastest that this system will take. Hopefully that works. And we'll see what we can do for the RAM slots. Okay, with the help of Dead Meat on Discord, we worked out we need to do 4242. That should give us 6 gig on each channel. So here is the 4 in slot number 1. And a 2 in slot number 3. I've been dusting as I go and cleaning. Now another 4 in slot number 2. So it's 1 3 2 4. So in slot number 2 gig stick in slot number 4. Okay, that's our RAM in. Alright, so next thing we've got to clean off the heatsink with the old heatsink paste. Bit of alcohol in there, and then a workshop rag. Should mostly wipe off. But the last little bits, we'll just give it another soak, and then we should get the last little bits off. And then we will be able to put this back on, hopefully. Alright, so heatsink paste time. This is where we make everybody angry. Come on, heatsink paste, are you stuck in the tube? This is where I apply an unwholesome amount of force and end up with more paste than I ever imagined I needed. Alright, that is probably plenty. So you make just way more of a mess than you needed to with all of this.
Putting way more effort into that than you really need.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
But you put a rice grain of big rice grain of thermal paste in the middle, and you stick the heatsink on and let it squish itself out.
Yeah, the heatsink paste had got kind of viscous. That was some of the problem. So I'm guessing the heatsink needs to go that way because that's the direction of airflow, and there's this stupid spreader that goes over that way. So I guess that makes sense. Put it in that direction. Find out when this thing thermal throttles the second you bloody plug it in. BIOS battery is 2.6. I think I've got a spare one up here that's healthier. Okay, fresh BIOS battery. Wonder if I'll have to flash a BIOS for this. We're gonna need a power supply next. Alright, after some mucking around, we have it booting, and we're going to figure out the display situation in a minute. Alright, now we're drivers and stuff, but because I'm using 32-bit I can only use 4GB of RAM, so I will probably rip those other larger sticks out rather than update beyond 32-bit because that's the only one that works with my laser drivers. So yeah, we'll go from there.
3 hours later.
Okay, so after about 3 hours of mucking around and talking to all the experts, we have dual displays and it works fine. I had it connected to the HDMI capture card, which should feed into my cameras here, into Streamlabs. It didn't work. That was what was resetting the whole thing. So we're up and running now. So we're going to mess around with it a bit more, then maybe drag it out to the shed. I'm also going to rip out all the extra RAM because 32-bit Windows only understands 4GB. We'll rip out the extra 8 and use that for something else. Alright, after most of a day of mucking around, we worked out our problem, so we're going to put the sides back on and take it out to the workshop. Alright, so sad days for this one. Going to be decommissioned finally. This was, in like 2018 and 2017, my main workstation, and it's got all the old stuff. It's got floppy drive connections, serial ports, it's got ISA slots, or sorry, PCI slots along with the PCI Express, and it has a whole bunch of other legacy interfaces on here that I would really like to use. But I think the power supply is gone. We'll keep it as spare parts for the other one, and yeah, but it's going to get decommissioned. New machine's going to go back up on the shelf. This machine's going to get put in storage as a spare, and hopefully we can clean up this whole desk area. Some point in the future we're going to redesign this entire desk area and also probably fix the broken glass in the windows as well. Okay, old one out. Probably one lead we need to plug back in, which is the laser cutter. So you can go back into one of those ports up there. We're up on the shelf, we're all happy. Let's see if it lets the magic smoke out. It's our power button. See if we turn on. We're going to be on digital input. There we go. See how we go. Should see something in a moment. Should. Good. Now I have a second monitor, and because this handles just dual outputs, when I extend the desk I may end up having a second monitor over here so I can watch stuff while the laser cutter's running. I am getting increasingly more nervous about the old compressor there and the state of the tank. I may get another one. And wow, that was quick. I even got it to boot up with numlock on. I think. Yep. The wireless keyboard seems to be working. Is our mouse working? We'll find out in a minute. But it's looking good. Okay, I know Discord sort of works. So Discord's working, mouse is working, icons are all there. AutoCAD loads up really quick now. Having I've pulled out the extra RAM, by the way, but AutoCAD loads up super quick compared to the old one, We also put an SSD in this, a SATA SSD. So I think this is a suitable upgrade, and even though it's only 4 gig of RAM, it's good enough to load AutoCAD and load a job in here. Maybe look at Discord. This one has a sound card too. It's all fancy. In the pile of junk down here, I think there's another set of speakers. That old set there is going to get retired. But we may be able to have audio in the shed too. That'll be nice. All up, it's been a mostly productive day. Thank you again to Alan for helping me out. I've got something for you. Finished polishing it today, so maybe distribute it to you later. We'll find out. Okay, so addendum. There's a speaker in it. Actually, not a bad thing. Alright, cool stuff. See you in the next one.